Have you ever held a blade that just felt alive? Where these incredible waves and ripples seem to dance across the metal, telling you a story of fire and force and just pure artistry. Well, that's the world of Damascus steel we're diving into today. So let's get right into the secrets of this amazing craft.
Yeah, that line, that just nails it, doesn't it? It perfectly captures that feeling, that first moment of awe. It's not just some pattern printed on the surface. You can almost feel the hammer strikes and see the layers folded in the heat. It's a whole experience, and it's what gets so many people hooked.
So what is Damascus steel, really? Well, here's the thing. It's not just one single thing. The best way to think about this explainer is like we're on a gallery tour. We're going to walk through the history, the science, and the incredible artistry that makes every single blade a unique fingerprint of the person who made it.
Okay, so for the first part of our tour, we need to get our bearings. Let's start in the three main halls of our gallery. These are the big three, the foundational types of Damascus that you absolutely need to know. You've got pattern welded, the legendary crucible, or woot steel, and of course, the modern stainless version.
This is the one you're probably most familiar with. A smith takes a stack of different steels, say a high-carbon steel that etches dark and a nickel-rich steel that stays bright. They heat them up, hammer them together into one solid block, and then, well, that's when the real artistry begins, twisting, folding, manipulating that block to create those jaw-dropping patterns.
Now, let's take a step back in time. True Wootz steel. This is the stuff of legends, going all the way back to 300 BC. Instead of layering, smiths would literally melt iron and carbon together in a sealed pot. As it cooled, super slowly, this unique crystal structure would form, creating that famous subtle watered silk look. It is incredibly rare, and for a lot of collectors, it's the absolute holy grail.
And that brings us to the modern workhorse. I mean, what if you want that incredible look for a kitchen knife, something that's going to be dealing with acidic foods and water all day? Well, by forge welding different stainless steel alloys, you get the best of both worlds, those stunning patterns, but with fantastic corrosion resistance. It's beauty that's actually built to be used.
So, let's just quickly break this down. This chart lays it all out perfectly. With pattern welded, you get almost limitless artistic freedom, but yeah, you got to keep it oiled. Wootz gives you that incredible, authentic history, but it's really hard to find and pretty expensive. And then stainless, it gives you that rust-proof convenience, making it perfect for your everyday tools. Each one has its own place, its own story.
All right, now that we've got the materials down, let's move into the next wing of our gallery. And trust me, this is where the visual fireworks really begin. We're going to check out some of the most iconic patterns out there, and every single one is a testament to the smith's skill, their vision, and their total control over the fire.
First up, the twist. It's an absolute classic for a reason. By taking that initial layered block of steel and literally giving it a good twist while it's glowing hot, the smith creates these elegant, flowing lines. It's strong, it's beautiful, and no two twists are ever exactly the same. It's a true fingerprint of the forge.
Now, for the latter pattern, the smith will actually cut evenly spaced grooves into the hot steel. Then, when they hammer it flat, those grooves open up and reveal this wonderfully precise, almost architectural structure. It just looks so clean and powerful. It's a big favorite among makers.
I absolutely love the organic feel of the raindrop pattern. To get this look, the smith uses a rounded punch to press dimples all over the hot steel. As they forge it flat, those dimples stretch out into these beautiful, concentric circles. It's like freezing a perfect ripple on the surface of the steel forever.
Okay, the amazing thing about mosaic Damascus is that it's not some happy accident of forging. It is a completely deliberate, calculated design. The smith arranges tiny rods and squares of different steels to create an actual picture, welds them into a block, and then draws it out. It's literally like weaving a tiny tapestry out of metal. The patience required is just mind-blowing.
So let's zoom in on just one pattern to really appreciate the insane level of mastery we're talking about here. Feather Damascus is one of the most sought-after patterns, and for a very good reason. It's just this perfect mix of technical, surgical precision and a beautiful, natural, flowing aesthetic.
So how in the world do they do it? Well, first, the smith builds up a block with tons and tons of layers. Then comes the magic trick. They carefully split that block right down the middle, kind of peeling it apart. This reveals a central spine with these gorgeous feather-like arcs. Finally, they forge the two halves back together to lock in that stunning, perfectly symmetrical design.
Okay, get ready for one of the most mind-bending secrets in all of bladesmithing.
What if I told you that 3 totally different, very famous patterns could all come from the exact same piece of steel? I know, it sounds impossible, but I promise you it's absolutely true.
This is where things get really, really cool. The secret isn't just about how you stack or forge the steel, but how deep you grind into it after it's been shaped. The pattern you see on the surface, that's just one chapter of the story hidden inside that bar. You gotta see this.
Okay, so check this out. You take a twisted bar of Damascus. With just a tiny bit of grinding, we're talking about 45 thousandths of an inch off the surface, you get this. A super clean, sharp, beautiful herringbone pattern. That's the first face of the steel. But wait, let's go a little deeper on the exact same bar. We grind past that surface layer, just another 20 thousandths of an inch, and suddenly, the straight lines of the herringbone start to curve and relax, and a completely new pattern emerges, the classic horseshoe.
And now for the grand finale. As you keep grinding, pushing toward the very center of that bar, those horseshoes break open, and these incredible star-like patterns known as Turkish or kroll just bloom right before your eyes. 1 bar, 3 completely different patterns, all controlled by the grinder. It's just phenomenal.
Now, with all this incredible artistry out there, you know fakes are going to be common. So how can you be sure you're looking at the real deal? Let's wrap up our tour with some really practical knowledge that'll help you spot a genuine piece of Damascus steel from a mile away.
First things first, just use your eyes. A real Damascus pattern should flow seamlessly, right from the spine of the blade all the way down to the cutting edge. It needs to look like it's in the steel, not just sitting on top. And be wary of patterns that look a little too perfect or have machine-like repeats. Real Damascus always has that little bit of human, organic variation.
And hey, if you really want to be sure, there's a pretty simple test you can do. If you sand a small spot, you'll remove the surface edge. Then, when you re-etch it with a mild acid like vinegar, the pattern on a true Damascus blade will actually reappear as the different steels react. On a fake that's just laser etched, that sanded spot will just stay blank.
And that brings us to the end of our little gallery tour. You know, what we've seen today is that Damascus steel is so much more than just a pretty pattern. It's really the meeting point of science and soul, where centuries of metallurgical history and the vision of one single artist come together in fire and steel.
Every single ripple and wave on these blades is a chapter in this incredible, long story of human ingenuity. So whether you're a collector, a chef, or just someone who appreciates amazing craftsmanship, you're now part of that story too. The only real question left is, what story will you be looking for next?